Today, on the early morning show, do you know a chick that's cash rich and ghetto poor? Good morning and welcome to the early morning show. Before I go any further, make sure you smash that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. So today's juicy topic is tax time baby mamas who are cash rich and ghetto poor. And we know them all. There's no need to pretend we don't, right?
Right.
Okay, so now I'm sure we have some viewers out there who will say you can't get rich off of a tax refund. But I would have to say that this depends on what you call rich. Everybody has their own rich, right? You got some ghetto rich and you got some rich rich. Now some of these ladies have no intention of working when they were in junior high school outside of receiving a government benefit check for their children that they purposely created for the cause of ghetto wealth. Now, I was in school when you get close to 9th grade, going towards the 12th. Guys get scared, so they like have nothing to do, they join the army. Girls get scared, they decide to have a baby. In a minute, we have a short comedy video from a guy who understands what a ghetto mom does with her tax return on the day she receives it versus a few days later after she spent every penny of it. Now, but first things first, all of us know that the hood is rich 1 week out of a year, no matter where it is located. But unfortunately, due to the mismanagement of these mothers' money, the children end up being broke along with her and almost destitute. Let's go to the video real quick and we'll be right back.
Now, what do y'all want? I'm gonna get us some lobster. I'm gonna get some steak. Yeah, I'm gonna get up. And y'all can get a little snack. Hold on, but right now, what kind of steak y'all want? You want lobster? You want shrimp too? Ooh, no. You don't need to get that. Let's get real Pepsi this time. Come on, real Pepsi. Go ahead, get y'all some goodies. Get y'all anything. Get y'all some goodies. Oh, and I can get y'all's beds too. Did y'all want new beds? Yeah, go ahead, pick y'all out a little twin bed. I'm gonna give me this whole set. And you better not piss in this one or else you back to sleeping on the floor. Oh, come on now, y'all. No, we ain't catching no bus, we catching a jitney. Yeah, we gonna drive a jitney all around the town. Treat it like a limo. Hey, one of y'all wanna ride me to the south side?
Hey, and we're back. Now, wasn't that funny? I mean, how many times have you seen these girls go out here and they got like $10,000 tax returns? And I don't know if you've seen it. You may have gotten a small amount when you're a working person, maybe $500, $600, $1,000. But they get like $10,000 and some get it even more than that, right?
So why are you broke?
Why are you broke? I mean, she's got a story of a woman who tried to get the maximum amount of a tax return. This woman tried to file a tax return claim in the hood. Forget this. $99 million. Can you imagine that? Who files a tax return for $99 million? What you got?
Her name was Bridget Jackson. She did a bogus state tax return, claimed $99 million in income as the basis for her $94 million refund. Georgia revenue officials arrested her for theft when she tried to cash the fake check. Georgia authorities went to get a great deal of trouble to nab a woman who filed a state income tax return for a whopping $94 million.
$94 million. So you make $98 million. The government owe you $94 million.
She was asking for the whole thing back.
I want all my money back. I gave you a little bit, but I want the rest of it back.
That don't even sound like you're paying attention to any kind of money.
And if you don't believe it, in a minute we're gonna show you that video too.
Yeah, that's insane.
But the funny thing about it, a lot of people, they're like, why are you fighting single moms with babies? I mean, they got to take care of their children. Not necessarily true. I mean, I've got the numbers. We don't do no shows unless we study the numbers. Now, the first thing off, you don't need no numbers as both genders are created equal, male and female. We're all equal. Now, if you on the side of single moms who have children in the hood, put them in these bad situations where they waste all the money, consider this. Both genders are born equal.
Nobody.
There's no female in history that's ever born with a baby.
Nope.
So guys aren't pregnant with their children. Women aren't pregnant with their children. So both are equal. If they'd stayed that way, it wouldn't be no problem. So if you're going to get me to feel for some woman who just had a child in junior high school, and 3 dudes after that, it's just not gonna happen. Because this problem ain't going away. Now let me get to some of the numbers. Like I said, I don't feel pity because of that. But if you look at the broader amount, right, we're spending billions of dollars annually for this stuff. Now the earned income tax credit, which a lot of these women are using to get these tax returns, $10,000 and up, because each child is worth a certain amount. If you have 3 children in the United States,
3 children,
and you're a single mom, the maximum amount that you can get for earned income credit is $7,430. So now, if you're married, you can claim an earned income tax credit of about $500 to $600. Yeah. But if you're single for the same amount, it's ridiculous. So the earned income tax credit for 2023 this year for 3 or more qualifying children is $7,430. Now from 1977 to 2020, that number of years, inflation adjusted dollars, state and local government spending on public welfare, because just beyond we're talking about this earned income tax credit, like I said, hood rich women are getting the earned income tax credit at the end of the year, that big check, $10,000 check, getting welfare all year long, food stamps all year long, child tax credit
for babysitting,
going
to college,
getting Section 8 housing, college. That whole thing equals, in some cases, up to $35,000 a year help. And you can't get that as a single dude. Now,
can't get that as a married person.
Yeah, you can get it as a married person. Yeah, if you're married, forget it.
Anything.
But see, both of them are equal. If anybody ever asks you to say women are equal, true. Neither one came here pregnant. The only time they separate us different is when we were pregnant. Okay? So, anyway, state and local government spending on public welfare increased by $147 billion to $791 billion over that time period, a 437% increase. Now, what is the spending on welfare? In fiscal year 2022, the total U.S. government spending on welfare, federal, state, and local, was guesstimated to be $1.68 billion, including 806. Now, the breakdown is $864 billion for Medicaid. See, I didn't put that in there a minute ago. So, if you're a single mom, you got children, can't pay for medical, we also could throw in Medicaid in there. Now, Medicaid was meant as an addendum to Medicare for seniors.
Yep.
You see, it was never meant for young girls having babies. None of this stuff was meant for young girls. Section 8 housing, that was for what?
That was for military.
Military soldiers.
Yeah.
See, a lot of
wives.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff was made after World War II for military-dependent wives. So they killed so many soldiers, dudes, in the Second World War that they decided to take care of the widows and the orphans. So they made Section 8 housing for military dependents.
Medical.
They made the Medicaid for them. They made the welfare for them. All this stuff was for them. And then Congress, no matter what kind of program you have, they widen that out.
And they took the money.
They took the money, yeah. And so the only difference is that today, a girl in junior high school could say, you know what? Fuck it, I don't want to work. I'm gonna have me a baby.
Have a baby.
Now the boy beside her in high school, he can't get nothing. You could either go to jail or you could join the military if you live in the hood, right? So now look, like I said, $864 billion for Medicaid and $817 billion in other welfare. The federal government spent $90 billion on housing assistance, that's their free housing, in 2021, an increase of almost 70% from the preceding year. How the hell do you go up 70% from a year ago? What the hell is
Where
this?
did you use the money on? That's insane.
Now let's take a look at the first half of that. Now we watched that on the first half of that comment, right? Mm-hmm. Now you see the woman started out with all that money. She started with that high amount tax return, which is probably that $10,000 range.
Or 12.
Yeah.
She had 2 children.
Yeah, she was ghetto rich that day.
Oh Lord. And she,
Yeah, I don't care if you guys had a mama that did this.
Yeah.
If you had a aunt, a niece, a sister, the chick you hate down the block,
Yeah.
your friend that gamed the system.
Whatever.
Yeah, you had that crooked tax person in the hood that gamed the system and gave you 5 extra kids you didn't have, and a plant and a dog you put on there, and you got all of this money. But you know what happens? What the first thing them girls do?
Go out and spend it.
Go out and spend it to get the
Hair
and the nails.
Nails.
Yep. What's that money they call it? That COVID money?
Uh,
Remember that pandemic money?
Yeah, they were I forgot what it's called, but it's still.
Yeah, that pandemic money. They took that pandemic money, and what did those single moms do?
They went right to the wig shop.
Right to the wig shop. You could drive down the block.
Oh man, you can see a line out the door.
It was like the Great Depression, but like in a bazaar. We were driving one day and going down the block. It was a long line. It was a bunch of women.
Yep.
And they were standing in line at the wig shop.
They was at the wig shop.
The only reason they had to stand outside was so many doors, and they had to stand a 6-foot distance so they wouldn't be together, right, for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy out the ass. Yet you got your kids at home, they're fucking starving.
Yep.
And the main thing is what I'm saying is that soon as you gave her that money, that girl is going to be poor. It's that famous saying. You could take all the money that the rich have, disseminate it out to the 99% of the world, and it would end up back in the hands of the rich.
Yep.
Because one group holds on to the money, other
that
group
one doesn't.
Yep, this is not my money. I got to get rid of it.
Got to get it back.
So now Congress has budgetary in 2023. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, had a $256.44 billion distributed among 8 component agencies to spend towards that particular housing. That's a lot of money. Now, how much cash assistance will you get with a family of 3 in New York City? So this is what you call welfare. They no longer give you a check. You know, when I was a kid in the 70s, everybody got a check, right?
Check.
Now, the first thing that happened is a lot of dudes in the hood, they went in the mailboxes, they stole that check.
All the checks.
A lot of women went in there like porch pirates today, and they stole that check too.
Yep.
So the government got tired of that, and so they started giving it to you on a credit card, or you have to go someplace to get the cash. So today, beyond that earned income tax credit one time of the year, you still get that a monthly check. So one of the highest states is $789 a month, and that's for New York.
Yeah,
now, a lot of people.
That's already high.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's not high, $789. Well, you don't believe so? Go homeless. $789 don't seem like a lot of money, right? So you put that cash assistance they give them, you give them the food stamps on top of that, what, over the $400? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You give the other assistance you have on top of that, housing.
Yep, housing.
Transportation costs.
You have to wait. They still manage somehow to give you money while you wait.
Yeah, they're gonna take care of you. The government's gonna take care of you. So in Colorado is Ohio is even higher. It's at $905 a month. Now, where can you go to a job and don't work and they give you $905 a month?
No way.
Yeah, this is ghetto rich.
Volunteering.
Now, what could have been done with this instead? Now, roads in the United States, all of this money, it said that if you fix every road that needs to be repaired in this country today, it would cost $136 billion.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, every road to get up to code. Then what we're going to do right now, we're going to go back to that video, all right? We're going to go to one of the funniest parts. What happens after the chick has spent all this money? Yep. I mean, they gave it to her for the kids. They didn't give it to her for herself, right? Let's look at what happens after she wasted all the money and the family is broke.
Outside? What do you mean there ain't no detergent? Detergent? Use a piece of this bar of soap, a tiny piece, and wash them clothes. What do you mean no toilet paper? What do you mean? I thought I showed you. Here. Take this. Look, you got 2 pieces of toilet paper. Look, take one of these, crumble it up. It's just like tissue. This is mine. I'm gonna wet this up. Ooh, it's gonna feel just like a baby wipe. I love these. This is yours. Use that. What do you mean you're hungry again? Hungry? Hold on. You might be let me see. Look. One for you, one for your brother, here, and then one for me. So now, maybe we can ask Grandma if we can go stay the night. Lay down. Y'all got school in the morning. Go the fuck to sleep. I don't care if you're hungry. You know what? You just had Cheetos, didn't you? Now, go the fuck to sleep, and then you wouldn't be hungry. Good night. Oh, matter of fact, you know what? This kid feel kind of good on my back. I'm glad we did this.
Now, how amazing is that? Sleeping on the sidewalk, you know.
And he's just ain't used to it.
Yeah. Just go to sleep. I know you got school tomorrow. If you go to sleep, hey, you won't be hungry.
And she was $1.68. That toilet tissue now, that paper.
That's rough. That's got to be rough. You use some paper to wipe your butt? Come on, man.
They want to water that a little bit.
What is that favorite saying, though? The truth is oftentimes what?
Told in a joke.
Told in a joke. Now, I guarantee you that if you grew up in the hood, you might have seen that. That might have struck home so bad it hurt.
It hurt.
But see,
bottom.
It hurt your bottom. But see, even if you're a female, you understand this, because they got a lot of guys on the internet talking about how bad single moms are, how bad women are. But the thing about it, if you're a woman, you still grew up in a home with a single mom. You starved there. She was barely trying to make ends meet. But the thing about it is, a lot of these girls that grew up under these women, they say, I ain't gonna be nothing like them. But that was all the training they had. Yep. See, a lot of these guys, they say, I don't be nothing like her. So they join the military to get out of the hood, and then they marry a girl just like their mom, and they take it right back to the hood. So let's look a little bit further now. Do single parents get more tax return? And they do. If you're a married person filing joint, you don't get as much back as a single person, because the United States is trying to help her make it. The United States considers the poverty rate at like $35,000. It used to be like $21,000. So they consider that if you don't make $35,000, they're trying to help you get to $35,000. Yeah. And so that's what the child tax credit is for. So take, for example, that this girl make $35,000, which you do not.
Which you don't.
And so outside the home, she made $35,000. And it can help her even if she's not a single mother in the ghetto. So take a woman who makes $35,000. She's a single parent of 2 children. They take the child income tax credit off of those 2 children. They give her assistance for, they consider that she spends housing, that sort of thing. So then what they do is they push her income down below where it meets the federal poverty level. And they'll give her an income tax check to bring her back
up to
above that. Yeah, that's what they do. It's an old trick. So first the income tax lowers it on the paper, and then they give her income tax to bring it back up to where it's so-called decent above the poverty level. So even if you're a single mom, make $35,000 a year, you can still get a $10,000 tax credit, even though you.
So also you have to consider that some of these single parent women were married, and he's paying child support, alimony, and that is not income tax.
Yeah,
That's
she's right.
Not tax.
That is one of the biggest bitches and gripes.
They get about $3,000, from this guy. So
that's one of the biggest bitches and gripes we get at this channel is that a lot of people say, they have to pay the wife alimony and child support, but the federal government does not consider that a woman's taxable income.
Not her money.
So it don't matter. This dude paid her $30,000 all year long. When she does her taxes, that's not considered her income. So she can work herself outside the home. They only going to consider taxable income what she made.
What she brought.
So she still could get almost $10,000 back on a tax return based upon she just made $6,000 working at McDonald's. Yep. Now that's what's crazy.
That is insane.
Some of these women are making $6,000, $7,000 a year at McDonald's, total year salary.
Yep.
And yet they take home a $10,000 tax return. What the hell is that?
How did you do that?
And
what kind of government sets it up that way? I mean, give me $10,000. I'm pretty sure I can find.
I can do a whole lot with that. Because they always complain the military get all the money. Are you crazy?
Insane.
At least it goes to something.
At least you're saving my life.
Yeah.
You're protecting me.
Now they say, do single parents get more on tax returns? Yes. A single mom making less, listen to this, less than $200,000 a year can claim a $2,000 child tax credit for each child for single or head of household filers. And the credit amount comes off of your tax bill. If you owe less than the child tax credit, you receive some or all as a refund. So a single mom can make up to $200,000 a year.
She still get money back.
And still get money back. Now that's amazing.
I don't.
Yep. Now they judge her. These include income support. That's like for the father. Income-based job seeker allowance. So they give her money just for going to look for a job, or on a job that hired her to help her off welfare. So she gets an allowance for that. Income-related employment and support allowance. Child tax credit. Working tax credit, just because she worked, that's a tax credit. And the housing benefit. Now it says, can a single mom with no job file for taxes? Yes, she can file for taxes even if she has no income, if she chooses.
If she chooses?
Yeah, she chooses. Yeah, it's up to her. She doesn't have to do that.
And it's not military?
No, it's not military. Now you can file taxes with no income, but she has to have a child or dependent. Now if you have no income, but have a child dependent, she can still file taxes. This may allow her to get a refund if the tax credits that she's eligible for are more than her income. Now,
but she's not making an income.
that's right. That means that even if a woman sit at home, no job at all, file for income tax return, 2, 3, 4, 6 children, she come away with a $10,000 check. That's her tax return. Because if you don't make money,
What?
if you don't make money, you deserve a tax return.
What?
Now, if you're due and you work all year long, you make $80,000.
You be paying her income tax.
You're gonna pay, because if you work, you do not deserve an income tax return. So a lot of people in Congress and real life are saying this welfare stuff is an incentive not to work, and definitely, because I used to hire people when they worked for me, and I would get single moms, and they would say, "Hey, do me a favor. Can you give me some reduced hours so I don't get taxed more?" Are you kidding me? They wanted me to reduce their hours all year long so they can make only a certain amount. So at the end of the year, they get a big tax return.
Big tax return.
That's just stupid. You know, I don't really dues that live for that
And
sort
not
of.
only that, they leave after they get their tax return.
Yep, they leave after they get the tax return.
Yep.
Tax return holiday.
Yep.
You know, tax return, like I said, it's the richest day in the hood. I don't care if the hood is in West Virginia. I don't care if it's Crenshaw. I don't care if it's Southeast DC, Oakland, no matter where it is. It's the richest day in the hood.
Yep.
You know, but the guy can't get no help. The only thing, what is this? They talking about guys want to be women these days. Hey, you ain't got no ovaries, you ain't gonna get no tax return.
No tax return.
And it ain't worth it ain't worth it to us to take on no kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna adopt me 4
But
kids
the
just so I get a
thing-
tax return.
The thing about the tax is that women say they don't need a man, and if you gonna get that tax, that guy has to pay for those taxes. You're not getting those taxes because the government is saying, "Oh, you need taxes." Someone has to pay into the system. They're taking all that money from the guys.
That's true, because males, women decry all the time that males get more money. Males have jobs where they do get more money. They put in more hours where they do get more money. And the thing about it, they get penalized by this because no matter which government program, they took money from both sides. And because males make more money, they taking more money from the guy.
Yeah.
And especially when they don't get a male a tax return at $10,000 at the end of the
He
year.
don't give his money back,
He don't get any of his money back, so he's paying more into a system that won't service him.
and he don't benefit from it at all.
In an equal country, we call this country equal. This country is farthest from the equal than Saudi Arabia is from Yemen. You know, it's ridiculous. This is not an equal country.
It's insane.
If you are neutered at birth, you're hanging at birth, it's different.
But see, I'm not saying that women are bad. I'm not.
No,
That's not what I'm saying.
No, that's not what we're here for.
I'm saying she's shitty. It's because if you're not helping, you're not raising children that are helping because you're not helping.
Yeah.
I can't benefit from knowing you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna win. You know, and then you raise children who are not going to give back to society. Because if you don't give back, then our roads won't be done, you know, and homeless won't be fed.
That's one of my favorite things I say is that if you make a child in the hood and that child don't like itself, that child's going to cost society $1 million. It's going to cost $1 million.
Or more.
Why? Arrest records.
Yeah.
Say, take for example, you steal a car, you wreck 5 cars and drive into a store.
Yeah.
So that child has taken more from society than they ever get back. You can't burn kids to take away $1 million at a time who earn less than a McDonald's salary all year long.
They don't even work. You know, I don't even understand it.
But that's not because of them. We can't blame the children because what she did. I lived in D.C. When I lived in D.C. And I left in 1984, it was predominantly single moms with children. And I watched that since the beginning of the 70s. It just kept growing. What you see out here today, it started like cities like mine first. So the city majority, single moms, and Washington, D.C. did not have a tax base because you can't tax people on welfare.
And you can't tax yourself.
Yeah.
Because the government be then taxing itself.
So you got to consider 70% of the town is single moms with children. And so the government, if they gave her welfare and that sort of thing, the government can't tax itself. So they didn't have a tax base. And the worst thing about D.C. is people who work there live in Maryland or Virginia. And in the afternoon, those people will leave the city and they have hefty salaries they take out. The Pentagon, all that kind of stuff, big salaries. But D.C. cannot tax people who do not live there. It's the worst scam in the world. So all they had left is a single moms as a tax base. So that's why the city has to depend on the federal government just to stay alive. when I left and I went away in the military, I was charged, my first salary was like $695, and out of that, $270 went to taxes. So almost half my salary went to taxes. And because DC, other than California, has the highest tax base in the United States for people who no longer actually live in the city.
You don't even live there. They take the money right out of DC.
Yeah. So that's the thing about it. This is not a dig at women. In my town, when I was in junior high, the females, like I said, they planned on having children because they said, I'm going to get my money. They knew that the system existed. They was going to exploit that system. So if you want to fight for this, and you're talking about help a single mom, people help a single mom because they grew up under single moms. They struggled under single moms.
Yeah, but see, the thing of it is they've already helped them.
Yeah.
But they always bring you right back.
Right back to the same thing.
You bring me right back. I don't want to be back here.
But these are the people who had a cornflakes for breakfast with water on it. Who had noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to their stomach locked up.
Syrup sandwich.
Yep, syrup sandwiches.
Oh, God.
If they was good butter sandwiches, if you could afford the butter.
If you can afford the butter.
They were drinking Similac milk as a teenager.
What was that milk that's real sweet?
And the Carnation. Yeah. Mix it up, baby. That's gonna be all right. Don't you worry. And you went to school with less and that sort of thing. So when you grew up in that sort of home, you're gonna rush to the defense of that woman, even if your mother was a single mother and she didn't live in the hood. That's because of what you went through. But that's not helping nobody.
Yeah, but that's her life. That is not your life, and therefore you shouldn't be putting yourself through that.
Yeah.
That's why when you see a homeless black guy, he looks exactly like he did in the ghetto.
Yeah, because she raised him to do the same thing.
He won't comb his hair. He won't do any of those things because
he quit on life.
That was her life.
Yeah.
That was not his life. He took her life on.
Yeah, that's psychology. A lot of people end up living their parents' life. They don't even live their own life. So we're gonna go ahead and close now, but we're gonna leave you with that one video from the woman who tried to cash a $94 million check. Now that is one hell of a tax return. Matter of fact, you don't need to scratch the lottery. You just need to file a refund. Because that's how America works.
And where are you gonna cash it?
She was trying to cash at the grocery store. Let me tell you something. Banks don't even have that kind of money in the vault.
They're not even gonna.
Well, they need to have that kind of money. The whole community don't have that.
That's a red flag.
But America is such a great country that you can make $98 million in 1 year. Pay that out, and the government will, at the end of the year, return that money to you.
Exactly.
For the early morning show, we thank you for watching. Until next time, we'll see you.
$94 million refund.
Only Channel 2 Action News was right there next to state investigators at a bank as they arrested a woman accused of filing a fake state tax return for $94 million. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jovita Moore.
I'm Justin Farmer. The woman had little to say as officers put her in handcuffs at the counter of this bank inside a Cobb County store. Channel 2's Mark Winnie live at that store on South Cobb Drive in Smyrna. Mark, investigators say that $94 million check was just part of their scheme.
Yeah, kind of two schemes allegedly involved here. So the Special Investigations Chief of the State Department of Revenue says the bank and Kroger were cooperating, were very helpful. Couldn't have done it without him, he said. I waited inside, as did investigators. I got a flu shot, in fact, while I was staking out the situation with my camera, while the investigators ran their scheme to expose the alleged tax scheme. By a bank counter in Cobb County. Did you try to get a $94 million refund? Georgia Department of Revenue Special Investigations Chief Josh Waits.
It doesn't matter if it's $94 or $94 million. We're going to go after you and hold you accountable.
Says after Brigitte Jackson allegedly tried to flim-flam the state into paying her a bogus $94 million tax refund, investigators flim-flammed her into showing up at a bank and a supermarket to pick up a $94 million refund check, whereupon agents arrested her.
5 charges, including attempted theft by taking and conspiracy to defraud.
Own world, living in my own world. Living in my own world. Living living in my own world. 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 Oh, state of mind.
California dreaming.
State of mind.
California scheming.
Oh, state of mind.
California is the reason for this golden state of mind. California dreaming. California scheming. California is the reason for this golden state of mind.
Open mind and you'll find what you've been missing. Please don't waste my time and never try to tell me different. There I go again, ignoring my own advice. But take my word for it, man, I've been living nice. Like the bottom of some skis on a January morning. Up in Aspen sipping cocoa. I prefer my women foreign. Don't disturb me if I'm snoring, let me be. Cause you gotta get your rest to be a king. Expand your mind, girl, you too fine not to. Don't let me leave with someone